Hey, Biff Gino. Ready Player One is a work of fiction. A brilliant one, I might add. But it might be closer to reality than we think. In the book Ready Player One, James Halliday is the creator of the fictional world known as the Oasis. In this digital world, people play games, go to school, trade commerce, and work just as they would in real life. And it was all created by one brilliant man, James Halliday. But James Halliday isn't a real person. He's simply a work of fiction. Or is he? In some innocuous corner of the internet exists a less enigmatic individual than James Halliday. He goes by the alias of GM3, GM being short for his real name, Godfrey Meyer. He graduated from Full Sail University in Florida with a degree in audio engineering. He's spent over 10 years working as a professional audio engineer and more recently has been completely infatuated with 3D animation, cinema 4D, and most important of all, virtual reality video game development. In our reality outside of the Ready Player One book, Godfrey Meyer is the closest thing we have to a real-life James Halliday, and he certainly isn't a work of fiction. Even though his in-game avatar certainly paints him as a fictional, otherworldly being. It's kinda freaky. But Godfrey Meyer is a modern architect of the virtual world in the game known as VR Chat. This game is the closest thing we have right now to the world of the Oasis, if you're not counting Second Life, that is. It's alright, I guess. The beauty of VR Chat is that you can be anyone you want to be. Create anything you want to create, and do just about anything you want to do. No, Godfrey Meyer is not the head developer of VR Chat, but he is arguably one of the game's most underrated contributors. Here's some of his work so far. GM3 has built an entire recording studio. In this studio there's amps, musical instruments, and DJing equipment. He's also the first person to have created a studio for virtual reality podcasts as well, and the first VR podcast that was ever recorded in history on March 5th, 2018 had over 60,000 unique views, and it was all possible thanks to him. This is both very exciting and amazing considering podcasts require people from various places to meet in one central location. With virtual podcast studios, no one has to travel at all, and with high-definition 3D models on the brink of being as realistic as we are in reality, it's only a matter of time before podcasters have themselves modeled, and their guests modeled too. Godfrey Meyer has also constructed a virtual museum where artwork and digital sculptures can be displayed. Once again, museums require some sort of real-life place for artwork to be exhibited, and Godfrey's museum gives anyone a chance to get their artwork displayed. In this museum, there's tons of really unique art on display. Some of the likes I had no idea were even a niche, like glitch art and animated sculptures like this one. Very few companies are invested in VR technology as of right now because the demand simply isn't high enough for it yet. However, once VR does hit mainstream thanks to the Ready Player One movie coming out March 29, 2018, check it out, most of the groundwork for what people want to accomplish in the virtual reality sphere will already have been completed by Godfrey Meyer. That's right, all the blueprints will be in place thanks to him. The creations listed above are only the beginning of what he's capable of too. And what makes his creations different from most of the user-submitted content to the VR Chat video game is that his creations have utility embedded in them. You can actually use his recording studio to create music. You can actually use his podcast studio to make your own YouTube channel while talking with great camera angles and good audio mixing. You can also use his museum as a place to promote your own artwork, which in your case would allow your artwork to be seen by the multitudes of people around the world interacting with the museum. In time, Godfrey Meyer will be the face behind virtual shopping malls you'll be walking through for holiday gift shopping. He'll be the designer behind virtual coffee shops, business meeting offices, vehicle test driving, and aviation. Okay, well, those suggestions are just my ideas, but the point still stands. Godfrey Meyer puts utility at the forefront of his creations. This is what makes the Oasis so appealing to us. Everything you interact with in the Oasis goes beyond just aesthetics. You can actually achieve something in virtual reality instead of exclusively just spending your leisure time in there. By now, if you're not at least interested in who or what Godfrey Meyer does, well, my video has quite frankly failed you. sorry for wasting your time. But if you are interested in Godfrey Meyer and what he does, please hop onto his live stream to see what he's working on. He can often be found working with 3D models, manipulating code, and preaching his philosophies of life. It's like watching a young James Halliday work on the early stages of the Oasis. I'd like to note that his creations are very much like the baby steps for what's to come ahead in virtual reality. But we should understand that innovation doesn't just happen overnight. Some of the future experiences we're going to have in virtual reality need to be pioneered by someone. And that someone is him. The genius behind Godfrey Meyer, much like James Halliday, only appears ever so often in history. The likes of Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and Elon Musk are recognizable innovators of our world at this current time. Unfortunately, at this time, Godfrey Meyer's work is widely unappreciated. It's a story we've heard time and time again, an artist with a true passion for changing the world, but appears as a ghostly apparition due to not being recognized for his true potential. If I could ask one thing from you, is that you don't let this man go unrecognized for his immeasurable feats in virtual reality. Show him some love in VR chat or on his various social media pages. Let him know that he is in fact the next prolific innovator of our time. I'm not even sure if he recognizes that. And if companies like Akai or Native Instruments are watching, please give this man a call. He'd be an invaluable asset to your companies. And on one last note, VR chat may not be the most realistic rendition of the Oasis, but if and when a more realistic virtual reality game does come out, you best bet your top dollar that Godfrey Meyer will be working hard to create a better experience for you. And that, my friends, is why Godfrey Meyer is the real James Halliday. As always, I'm Biff Gino. Check me out at twitch.tv/BiffGino. Subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a like if you enjoyed yourself.